Hey guys, I want to talk to you about some broad conceptual stuff with regard to approaching a stranger, cold approach, trying to meet somebody new, all that kind of stuff. I know I've talked about this same concept in the past, but just a little different twist on it or little different way to think about it. And I just want to share a really tiny, small story from my day. I live kind of up on this hillside, and it's really cool. There's all sorts of wildlife that exists out here, and I oftentimes will see these hawks, these predatory birds that come into this little bowl of a valley here and do what they do. And the behavior these birds do when they're hunting is they orbit. They fly these wide, circular orbits, and they're clearly looking out on the ground for movement. They're looking for, I think they eat rodents or squirrels, like things of that nature, maybe snakes, whatever. But they're circling in the sky oftentimes for 5, 10, 15 minutes, just looking for prey, right? And I think about if I was one of these little rats on the ground, or this squirrel, or this cute little fuzzy thing on the ground, and you look up and you see this hawk circling above you. It's kind of scary, right? It's like a predatory sort of behavior that this hawk is exhibiting. Obviously, this is nature. This is how animals act. Okay, but think about the perspective of that squirrel on the ground, that cute little squirrel that's just going about its day, and it takes notice to this hawk doing what it's doing. Now, the relation here, guys, and the parallel that I'm drawing is that when you're out there cold approaching, these times when you circle a woman multiple times for minutes, even longer sometimes, even if it's a wide arc and you think she doesn't see you, she sees you, okay? You are exactly like that hawk, and you are exhibiting this predatory behavior. And that sort of behavior, no matter if there might have been a split second of attraction where that squirrel looked up and thought, wow, what a cool looking hawk that is. That looks like a badass. Or that woman spotted you, and in a split second, her first initial thought was, wow, he's a attractive looking guy. But then it really quickly evolves from this like, whoa, they're cool, to whoa, they're circling around me, and whoa, they're a predator. And now I'm kind of getting scared, and I don't know if this thing's going to hurt me. I don't know what the hell it's going to do, but that sort of behavior I know is predatory behavior, and that is generally off-putting and generally scary. So like I said, guys, like back to this concept and this visualization of this real world moment that you might be having. When you do this sort of behavior, when you orbit a woman like that hawk does the squirrel, odds are it's going to scare her off. I think there's very few women that would continue to stay in the area physically, first of all. But even if it did come to the point where you did make some sort of break for it, you did try to make a conversation, it's probably not going to go well for you, because you've already instilled this sort of thought in her mind that you're a predator, and you're probably somebody that she wants to get away from. It's very creepy. It's scary. I mean, put yourself in a woman's shoes. Okay, try to think on those terms from time to time. So the contrast to that, and I know this is the hardest thing in the world to do when you're trying to do this cold approach stuff, the best possible thing you can do is, like, you might do one flyby to check things out and try to analyze. Like, if you go back and listen to those earlier videos I talked about, to touch on that again, guys, I always try to recommend do just a little bit of analysis. Does she have a wedding ring on? Does she, what's her behavior like? What's her energy look like today? All this kind of stuff. But pretty much by contrast to the orbiting hawk, you want to be that hawk that just like swoops in, dives in, makes it go for it, and flies right out of the situation. Like almost like, quicker than you can blink your eye kind of thing. But it's like, and maybe that's a bad analogy. Like, you don't have to like run through the situation and run away kind of thing, but make one pass is basically what I'm saying. Slowly saunter up, slowly kind of like be in the woman's like space bubble sort of thing. Do your thing if you're going to do it. Try something if you're going to try it, and then slowly exit the situation. But it's just that concept, that principle of like just going in and out, getting your job done, doing what you got to do, versus orbiting around for minutes at a time. And that's all it takes. And it goes really fast. Like I said, what I've observed, those times when you freak a woman the hell out and she's like running in the other direction. And it's like, it's hard to overcome that fear, and that natural, I think, instinct for a lot of us as males is like, you're not quite sure if you can approach her. You're not quite sure how you can approach her. And I think there's like this sort of dumb moment that goes on where you're in your head, and you're not sure what to do. You're kind of deer in the headlights. You are that orbiting hawk in that sort of instance. You're exhibiting that same sort of behavior. So that's just what I'm trying to coach you guys to not do, to try to think about that. I know it's hard to overcome. It's not easy. But remember, guys, like not everybody out there can do this this sort of thing, and it really sets you apart if you've got the moxie and the courage to do it. And I know you guys can. Everybody can do this out there, but take some effort. But it starts with a mindset, and it starts with just having a little bit of understanding of these concepts. And that's all that I'm trying to convey to you today, okay? All right, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.